Many parts of the Torah cannot even be carried out without a physical sanctuary intact. But there are some people who are not willing to use that as an excuse to ignore those commands that they can't obey right now. They're making whatever preparations they can so that as soon as it is possible to carry out the rest of the covenant, they'll be ready. Yoel Lerner helped to re-establish the Sanhedrin, a high court in Jerusalem based not on modern politics but on Torah rulings. One Levite who knows his part in the calling to restore the ancient ways is Reuven Prager.
What you're familiar with as normative Judaism, Orthodox Judaism, is not the religion of our ancestors. Most of you probably have a gut feeling or something that there's something's not right. And I'm telling you real clearly that normative Judaism is not the religion of our ancestors. Normative Judaism today is about 7% of the original religion, and 93% of things that we do as a zecher, as a remembrance of things we used to do for real. And to give you an analogy, let's say that a person's spouse is in a terrible accident, and they put that person in a full body cast that covers 93% of his body, 93% of her body. Just the foot's exposed, just 7%. And the doctors come and tell you that he's going to be like that, she's going to be like that for 2 years. So for those 2 years, you learn how to care for that person through their foot, how to show them you love them, and how to be tender to them through their foot. At the end of 2 years, they come and the doctors remove the cast. And you continue to only pay attention to the foot. Right? You ignore the rest of the body. That's what Judaism's at today. When the temple was destroyed, and when we lost sovereignty over the land of Israel 1900 years ago, we lost 93% of our doable culture, our doable religion. All of the commandments that were related directly or indirectly related to the temple service, or the commandments that were enforced only when we were sovereign in the land, all of that stuff, we lost the ability to do it. And we devised a way to remember the customs so that when the generation arrived that came back to the land of Israel, we would know how to reconstruct our culture. Right? My work is researching to restore ancient Israelite customs.
Among other things, Mr. Prager spearheaded the restoration of the Techelet blue thread commanded to be worn on our garments.
I'll start with the commandment of tzitzit, fringes. The last 1900 years, we have hidden our fringe garment on a little four-cornered garment that was tucked underneath our Gentile apparel. And the tzitzit would either be also underneath, or they'd come out from underneath the pants and out through the belt loop. Right? Now, up until the year 135, we did not have a prayer shawl and a talit katan, an undergarment. We had a talit, we had a beged, a garment like this. For those of you who your point of reference is the Christian Bible, this is the seamless garment from John, woven from the top throughout. It was a long seamless piece like this.
Mr. Prager has also restored the wedding sedan litter like King Solomon used, ancient wedding garments, and the half-shekel temple tax.
I have the authority to do this. I'm a Levite, right? Remember in 2nd Chronicles, King Joash, right? The people had stopped giving the half shekel. He turned to the Levites. He said, let's go, get it together. The Levites didn't act quick enough. He sent his chief after him. He said, now, Levite, bring it back. The tribe of Levi is responsible for Machatzi shekel, right? So I have authority. I don't need anybody's permission or even guidance because I know more about it than they do at this point.
But many would think that a temple, complete with a renewal of animal sacrifices, might contradict the idea of the finished work of Messiah. But as the Epistle to the Hebrews says, the blood of bulls and goats never did take away sin. That's not its purpose. During his kingdom, there will still be more people to teach about all the nuances of what redemption entails. And nothing does that better than the slaughterings that Yahweh prescribed. In fact, Zechariah says that during the Messianic kingdom, every nation on earth will be required to send a delegation up to Jerusalem for the Feast of Sukkot. Those who don't come won't get any rain, and that festival mandates the slaughter of 70 bulls. By the way, if the animal suffers, the kill is not kosher anyway, so that's not an issue. Understand, too, that not all of the offerings have to do with sin. Many are voluntary expressions of just wanting to come closer to Yahweh, and that will certainly reach unprecedented proportions at that time. Gershon Ferenczi, from the very priestly line of Aharon, is making sure that when the temple is rebuilt, there will be vineyards that have reached the required 4th season, so that there can be wine that's kosher for use in that most holy place. Here's his perspective on temple offerings.
I don't like the word sacrifice because in English it has negative connotations. You know, you're giving up something in order to whatever. In Hebrew, it works out differently. In Hebrew, the word for sacrifice is korban, which comes from the root karev, which means to bring close. Because that's the concept of korbanot, of sacrifices. That this ability that through bringing these offerings, we come close to
Him. The commandments in the Torah are not just hoops to jump through. Each of them has a much deeper lesson to teach us. In Hebrew, the festivals are actually called rehearsals, since they picture things that are yet to come. At Sukkot during Second Temple times, willow branches were cut from here at Moza, just west of Jerusalem. They circled the altar with the willow branches, making a sound like the wind. And then with them built a sukkah right over the altar. This reenactment was orchestrated by Joseph Good, a pioneer in teaching Bible believers about their Hebraic roots. But it's also one rehearsal for the day when the real thing will again be possible.